Hey everyone, that time once again, and I'm very excited to bring to you this film today because it was a surprise for me. It's called Casey Makes a Mixtape. It's brought to us by director Blake Calhoun, and it's set in the very early 80s, 81 in fact. And we meet Casey, who's a 13-year-old just trying to make the ultimate mixtape and running into those challenges that those of us in the 80s ran into when you didn't have that music readily available to where you could just record it. Well, her life is kind of thrown upside down for the summer when she is carted off to her grandparents because her mom is heading off on a trip with her mom's boyfriend to Paris. And while Casey's stuck in this Texas town where she doesn't know anybody, she soon befriends a couple of people. And we see how that unfolds, how that relationships grow, how this place where she didn't want to be at first starts to warm up to her, and she starts to warm up to them. And we see all of those trials and tribulations that she faces with relationships, including still trying to get that last song for the mixtape. This is an adorable, touching, light-hearted ode to the 80s, and this is the way you do it. I really did not know what to expect going into this film, and I came out of it smiling, and it just warmed my Gen X heart. It really did, because there are references for the 80s in here, but they don't overwhelm you with it. You're knowing what time period it's in, but they don't sit there and lambast you with every cultural reference. And that's what you really want to do, because sometimes those can distract from the story. And here the story is one that many people can relate to, maybe not so much the mixtape, but the challenges of being a 13-year-old in summer and being at the grandparents' house rather than where you want to be. Casey's played by Presley Richardson. Excellent casting, having a little bit of just a touch of Ferris Bueller to her as far as her attitude with things. We even get some direct breaking of the fourth wall moments in here, which again, kind of a nod to those type of films. And yeah, Casey is just someone you're pulling for and can relate to. And I loved how they created kind of the awkwardness of meeting someone new and making friends at that age. We meet Craig, who's played by Julian Hilliard, who is someone who befriends Casey. You get the feeling he has kind of feelings for her, but not quite sure, because it's that awkward age, and they captured that awkwardness very well. Craig does especially. And the other person who befriends Casey is Carrie, played by Kennedy Celeste. And these three are a great trio. I loved the dynamic and the chemistry between these two. They hit it off very well. You can feel how they ease into the friendship. And there's even some underlying things with the Carrie character, which I don't know if it's implied, if it's intended, or if it just is because of the performance that Kennedy does. But all three of these young performers do very well in a high production value. The look of Casey Makes a Mixtape is fantastic. I loved how they captured the period of the 80s, but the audio, the cinematography, the lighting, everything about it, the props, all of it looked really sharp and really takes you back to that time period. We get Patrick Britton in here as Stuart, and he's a fun character. He's a supporting role, as well as Poppy, played by Brad Leland, who is a very warm character, and you really feel like him as well as Mimi, who's played by Jennifer Griffin. They feel like grandparents to Casey. They have that relationship. Mimi being a little bit off-putting now, having a teenager back in her house and being a little bit more strict, and Poppy being a little bit more laid back and go with the flow type of guy. So there's those fun dynamics in here, as well as Ariane Martin playing Casey's mom, who is very much a stereotypical 80s mom. So, I mean, you do have some cliches in here with the characters, but they're very touching cliches. They're very sincere, and so is this film. So if you like retro throwback films that aren't hitting you every minute in the face with cultural references, then you'll want to check out Casey Makes a Mixtape. While there are a lot of references to 80s bands and such, that is part of Casey's character and not just being thrown in there going, look, we're in the 80s now. So I highly recommend Casey Makes a Mixtape. It really warmed my heart, and I think it will for you too, and perfect to watch for the holiday season. So thank you so much for watching. If you do see this movie, please let me know what you thought of it constructively. I thank you for your support, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.